Hello, I'm Morris Holmes, Superintendent of the Little Rock School District. I want to briefly speak with you about an issue that is of utmost concern to me as superintendent, as a parent or a grandparent, and as a caring individual, and that's about bullying. It has become commonplace in our homes, in our communities, and our workplace, and as a result, in our schools. It is a matter that we take very seriously in the Little Rock School District, and that is why I felt it appropriate for you to hear directly from me on this important subject. The district has a policy that addresses bullying, and we intend to fully enforce that policy when we are made aware of it at any time and all times. Further, we are enhancing our anti-bullying curriculum and implementing a timely and appropriate public awareness campaign, utilizing the mediums that we have available to us, our education channel, the Rock School District Channel 4, our website, LRSD.org, and our net newsletter, our social media outlets, our traditional media partnerships, which include television, print, and radio, as well as community centers, synagogues, churches, and places of faith, including neighborhoods association, any place where we may find a caring audience. All of us have a role in preventing bullying, but we must first be able to recognize the bullying behavior, and that requires a close examination of where and how people acquire such behavior. Sadly, just as children and teenagers can be bullies, adults can be bullies as well. The goal of an adult bully is to gain power over another person. Some parents of children who bully support bullying and may not even know it. They, in fact, may be bullies themselves. When adults use power and aggression to resolve conflicts, failing to keep track of and preventing bullying at home, children observe, they learn, and often replicate that behavior. Our goal is to have a safe, secure, educational environment for all of our students, where they can achieve their full potential and become productive citizens. Parents, that is why we need your help preventing bullying. But you first must know if your child is a bully or is being bullied by others. Many parents do not raise the issue with their children, and many children do not discuss bullying with their parents. We hope you will begin to have open and frank discussions with your children. To help guide you in this process, the Little Rock School District has a number of resources in place. You'll find out more about these resources in a moment. But first, we'll hear from a psychologist who will help you better understand the root of bullying and its potentially devastating effects.
Well, you're wrong.
I'm wrong. You're the one who misrepresented the facts.
Misrepresent the facts? Are you kidding? Your proposal is ridiculous.
You have no right to call anyone.
You are the worst example of politics.
I stand for something.
Flip-flop.
I stand for something.
Flip-flopper, flip-flopper.
Your proposal is ludicrous.
My proposal will go exactly the way I say it will.
My dead body.
We as humans tend to model what we see. If you see those interactions between the adults and your family, then you think that that's the way you're supposed to do it. In many ways, it can be us. So I think the first thing we have to do is take a good look at ourselves and to be able to see if there's anything that we're doing in our home, to our children, to the other people that we interact with that might be construed as bullying. Bullying can take a lot of forms. It doesn't have to be the parents who are physically aggressive, but the parent that tends to be more of it's a verbal sort of a power differential. You can't coddle kids. You can't just have nobody ever have any upsets. And I think that there's absolute truth in that also. When you look at the research, who are the kids that end up being resilient adults who are able to kind of handle those bumps in the roads? They're the children who have small, manageable bumps throughout their childhood. But when you look at how we're defining bullying, There's a whole host of research that shows these are not small bumps in the roads. And there are children that are really being significantly mistreated, if not physically, just emotionally. And this research that's showing these kids have anxiety, depression, lower self-esteem, more absences from school, suicidal ideation, those are not small bumps in the road. If we're changing the culture, we need to change the environment, we need to change the people who are sort of coming at them, but we also need to help change those children to help them be able to do this differently so they are prepared, they can be more resilient as they're grown up. To do that check in your household. Is there stress? Are there things that are happening inside of your family that is either creating more tension, so everybody's on edge, that everybody's sort of their fuse is shorter, or are there people that are sort of modeling some of this behavior? Probably having a family meeting and saying we're changing. We're having we're trying to make a new culture here, and really trying to do that as hard as somebody would try to lose weight, or you would try to quit smoking, or try to change your exercise habits. For some children that tend to bully, that they tend to not feel good about themselves. So the way they're getting that attention is more in a negative kind of way. So finding ways to praise them and give them some of that positive attention. But also, there are some children that don't know another way to interact with other people. So it's almost a skill deficit. So help giving them, not just punishing, but giving them the behaviors to replace those negatives with can also go a long way in helping them make those good choices. When you start becoming a little bit more concerned is when you have a child who's not able to put themselves in somebody else's shoes and not understand, oh wow, I really am hurting that person. That is one of the things that I think that understanding how your behavior affects other people is a pretty key part in being able to change that culture, whether it be in your home or in school. Your first response is to get defensive and say, it's somebody else, it's not me. And I think that especially happens when it's your kids. I would encourage parents to go one step beyond that and say, I really love my child, so I need to do that hard look and say, is there some truth in this? And again, it doesn't mean that the bully child is this horrible kid, just like it doesn't mean that the child who gets bullied has all these negative attributes, but there may be a way that we need to model better behavior. We need to put a limit on that, just as we're teaching the basic academics to help them do well in life. We've got to teach the emotional, the relationship part, because that's so much of how we get through, and not only just get through in this world, we get to the other end of the lifespan and say this was a life well spent.
As the Little Rock School District works to identify bullying behavior and preventing it, we are equally committed to holding those responsible for such behavior accountable for their action. We strongly encourage parents and students who are aware of bullying to report it to a teacher or administrator in order for immediate intervention to begin. The district has resources and policies in place to address bullying. More information and list of those resources can be found on our website, LRSD.org, under the Parents section. Little Rock School District has a policy against bullying of any kind, whether it be on the basis of race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, religion, or disability, and the district will investigate all complaints. We accept the responsibility to ensure that district policies and rules are reviewed regularly, updated as needed to address any issue, and as such, deal with bullying and any inappropriate behavior. We also expect that consequences will be rigorously and uniformly enforced to do everything possible to eradicate bullying.